Okay, so we're going to review the coordinate plane today. Specifically, we're going to talk about slope. So the first slide is a whole bunch of definitions. I'm not going to go through each one of these individually. These are definitions that hopefully you already know. Hopefully you know the x-axis, the y-axis, all of that kind of stuff. But again, we'll talk more about this as we go through each part. But these are the definitions you should know. So continuing on, we're going to talk about slope. But first, I want to point out the quadrants in case they were to come up at any point. So a coordinate plane is broken up into 4 quadrants. It's broken up by the y-axis, which is that vertical axis in the middle here. And then we got the x-axis, which is the horizontal axis. And that breaks the coordinate plane into 4 quadrants. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. They go counterclockwise. All right, so we're going to start with plotting points. I'm going to hope you know how to do this. So what I want you to do in a second here, you're going to pause this video. You're going to do these, and then you're going to unpause it, check your answers. All right, so pause the video, plot these points. Okay, so there is the answers. Hopefully they match up with yours. If not, talk to me about it. So, and then the opposite here is, what if the points are already in the graph? You're asked to write the ordered pair. One thing I want to point out, when you write an ordered pair, so like let's find 1. 1 is at -8, 6. I do the x-coordinate first, then the y-coordinate. I put it in parentheses. I put a comma between the numbers. That is how you write an ordered pair. All right, pause this video and do the rest. All right, so now you can check it with these answers here. You can pause this and check it if you need to. All right, let's continue on. Let's find slope now. So we've got a line here. On this line, you can see I've got 2 points for you. We're being asked to find the slope of this line. To find the slope, you need to go from one point to the other, but all you can do is you can go up, down, left, and right. So let's say I go from this point here at 2, 2, then to 6, 0. So if I start at this point at 2, 2, when you start, I always suggest going up or down first, because you write slope. So the number that goes on top is the number you get from going up or down. Because remember, slope was change in y over change in x. Change in y, that's the y-axis that's going up or down. So if I start at point 2, 2, I would go down 2. And notice, since I put down 2, I put -2. Because going down is negative. Going down and going left are negative. Going up and going right are positive. So I went down 2. Now I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4. Right 4, I'm going to put +4 because right is positive. So to write my slope then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write -2 over 4. Because my slope is the number that you get from going up and down goes on top of the fraction. The number you get from going left or right goes on the bottom. So when you do get slope, if you get something that can get simplified, you need to simplify it. 2/4 simplifies to 1/2. And whenever one of the numbers is negative, you take that negative sign and you move it out front. So I get a slope of -1/2. So one thing I want to point out is, what if you did it the other way? What if you started at 6, 0 and went to 2, 2? So if I started at this point, I would go up 2, so that would be +2. I would go left 4, that would be -4, because left is going, when you go down or left, it's negative. So then my slope, again, remember the up or down number goes on top, so 2 goes on top, -4 on the bottom. You simplify that, it's still -1/2. You get the same slope either way. It doesn't matter which point you start at, you should still get the same slope. All right, so let's do a couple more here. So let's find the slope of this next one here. I can see I've got a point at -5, 3, and then I got another point all the way down at 2, -7. So I'm going to start at -5, 3. I would go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Going down 10. That's going to be -10 because I went down 10. Then I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right 7. That's going to be +7 because I went right, which is positive. So my slope would be -10 over 7. I'll move my negative sign in front to be -10 7. So I can't simplify. And you leave it improper. You do not need to make it a mixed number. If you get an improper fraction, it can stay improper. All right, I want you to try to find the slope of the next one. So pause it, try and find the slope. All right, so for this one, when you found the slope, you should have ended up going up 7 and then right 2. So your slope is just 7 over 2. If you went the other way on this one, if you went, you would have went down 7, left 2, and you would have got -7 over -2. The negative signs would cancel out, and that's still just 7 over 2. Either way, you get 7 over 2 for the slope. All right, let's look at the next one. So this one, we've got a horizontal line. We got a horizontal line. So if we did what we did before to find the slope, first thing I would do is go up or down. How far up or down am I going? 0. I'm not going up or down. I'm going right to, let's say, so I get 0 over 2. Anytime you have 0 on top of the fraction, it's just 0. The slope of any horizontal line is 0. I would suggest just memorizing that. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0. A vertical line. So if I did this one, I would go up 3. So that would be 3 over, I'm not going left or right, so it'd be 3 over 0. You cannot have 0 on the bottom of a fraction. That is not possible. So when that happens, your answer is no slope. You also could see this written some places as undefined. I would accept either answer, but they mean the same thing. It's either no slope or undefined. So if you get 0 on top, it's 0, 0 on the bottom, no slope. All right. Finally, let's talk about finding the slope of a line between 2 points. So we're asked to find the slope. So what you could get out a coordinate plane, put these two points on a line, or on a graph, draw the line, find the slope. But there's also the formula. The formula we're given in the beginning was m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And what we can do is we can use this formula. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to label our ordered pairs. What I mean by that is, so 4, 5 is my first ordered pair. 4 will be x1, my first x coordinate. Y will be, or 5 will be y1, my first y coordinate. Go over to 1, 3. 1 will be my second x coordinate. 3 will be my second y coordinate. And what I can do is now I can take those numbers and plug them in. So on top it says y2 minus y1. So it'll be 3 minus 5. On the bottom it's x2 minus x1. x2 is 1, x1 is 4, so 1 minus 4. And now it's just doing this math. So 3 minus 5 is -2. 1 minus 4 is -3. I got negative signs on top and the bottom. They cancel out. And I've got my slope. It's just 2/3. So that's all you got to do. So let's do the next one. So again, same formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. First thing I do is I'm going to label my points. I'm going to say -2 is x1, -6 is y1. So then -4 is x2, and 8 would be y2. That's a y. It's a terrible y, but it's a y. All right. So now it's y2 minus y1. So it's 8 minus -6. And then on the bottom, it's -4 minus -2. So x2 minus x1 on the bottom. So now I'm going to do this. 8 minus -6, that's just 14. On the bottom, -4 minus -2, that would be -4 plus 2, which would be -2. This just simplifies to -7. And you don't need to give it as -7 over 1. If it simplifies to just a whole number, not a whole, that's an integer. Simplifies to an integer, you can just leave it as -7 like that. Find the slope of the line that passes through 5, 5, and 5, -6. All right, I want you to try this one on your own. So pause it, try it, and then unpause. Okay, so same formula here, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to label my points here. So I'm going to have -6 minus 5 on top, 5 minus 5 on the bottom. So that'd be -11 over 0. You can't have over 0. You get over 0, it's like we said before, it is no slope. There is no slope. All right, that is it for this lesson.